It's August 7th, 2019. Willow Heights. So, regarding the drip, drip, drip of nihilistic psychopaths, the charlatan virtue signalers are out there in full force, trying to point the blame at everyone except the people who the finger should be pointed at. One key generator of nihilism these days in the West is culturally Marxist postmodernism. What does that phrase mean? It means third wave feminism. It means the Stonewall LGBTQPZ project. It means the leftist competition going to see who is the very best at not having children. It's redefining marriage. It's denialism regarding the sexually dimorphic nature of humans. Devaluing motherhood and fatherhood. Shaming boys for being boys. Shaming pink skins for having pink skin, forgetting the contribution of Western Enlightenment values to the human project. Pink skin, Enlightenment values, people ended universal slavery. So where's my reparations for that? Not that I'm asking for any, but since the left is in the business and legacy media whores are in the business of promoting group rights, group blames, and a hierarchy of such, and a retrograde practice of assigning blame to children who should be considered to be born innocent in all cases. Children are born innocent. Your skin color doesn't determine blame. Now, meme sets can be to blame for things, but meme sets are not races. So, when you have a culture which generates nihilists on a drip, drip, drip fashion, that culture has a problem. Democrats seek to import voters. They want to open the floodgates. And the violent youth, the violent, nihilistic, dumb shit chump youth, such as the members of Antifa, support the corporatist, elitist, gated community leftists with these goals. Open the floodgates. So they the Democrats create an abusive situation where people who are native born of any skin color, from pink to brown to yellow to red, the native born of any skin color is pitted by the Democrats against the people whom the Democrats wish to import as a means of gaining votes and power, maintaining power, getting votes. So that's an abusive situation. But there's another meme set that the cultural left loves called Islam that also generates a crapload of nihilists, disconnected boys and young men who are happy to die so that they can have virgins in an afterlife. Listen to the words of Tawfiq Hamid on this front, who spoke in a group meeting called the Secular Islam Summit. He will tell you that the boys coming of age within Islam and young men see suicide bombing as a means of having their perhaps their only outlet to have a sexual relationship with someone in their so-called afterlife. Think how fucking crazy that is. So, nihilism can come from various places, and those who are more unstable, those who are mentally ill, hello there, little rock chuck thing, those who are mentally ill can become more increasingly destabilized by the nihilism which can be generated by one culture or another. So, I guess in today's world, you just have to be prepared. Be prepared and promote life. Take a multifaceted approach for protection and prevention. But the Democrats, such as they are, they lie about Trump's motives. They lie about the motives of Trump supporters. It should go without saying that 99.9% of Trump supporters would just assume press a button if they could and have the brains explode of every potential mass nihilistic, disconnected mass shooter. But I'm not sure if the same can be said of people who are within the Islamic meme set. Seems like there's more support for suicide bombing within Islam. But the Democrats do have their violent arm called Antifa, a nihilistic death cult army. So that's the situation. So promote life. Find a way to make life the most powerful thing we can do on this planet while we're here during our speck of time. The most important thing. Christopher Hitchens said it was the most important thing. Christopher Hitchens was also against open-ended abortion. Leftist atheists paid lip service to appreciation for Christopher Hitchens, but and they don't really appreciate all of what he stood for. And that's not to say that I'm a Christopher Hitchens ditto head, because the spirit of Christopher Hitchens just means questioning the dominant paradigm, being willing to question your own beliefs and the beliefs at large. In any case, the people putting out the most racist dog whistles to these days are the Democrats. Pro-violence dog whistles to the mentally unstable. People like Reza Aslan. Reza Aslan. Now I've had some email, at least one email exchange with Mr. Aslan in the past. And the guy comes off basically as an intellectually dishonest, Reza Aslan is an intellectually dishonest, opportunistic, slick-tongued charlatan who is, basically his game was to be the slick, lefty, rose-colored view of Islam guy who would go on CNN and other outlets for legacy media and basically lie about Islam. So back in 2015, I found from 2015, his Twitter history I found where he basically said that Ayaan Hirsi Ali was a dangerous person. Ayaan Hirsi Ali being a person who grew up in Somalia, was Islamic, became an ex-Muslim, created a film with Theo Van Gogh called, I think it was called Submission, Part 1 or something like that, talking about how Islam doesn't treat women all that well. Theo Van Gogh got murdered for his trouble of making that film, and Ayaan Hirsi Ali then had to have round-the-clock security, and she still does. Bodyguards everywhere she goes. She was a parliamentarian in the Netherlands, then came to America because America was the only place really that she could be the most safe. Now Reza Aslan, piece of shit, violence-promoting Reza Aslan, says that Ayaan Hirsi Ali is a dangerous person, even though Ayaan Hirsi Ali is a valiant freedom fighter. A freedom fighter from the perspective of the Western Enlightenment project. The American Enlightenment project, to be specific. But anyway, British and American. So that's the true nature of Reza Aslan, a slick, lying charlatan. But the same can be said, that phrase also applies to Democrats. Particularly popular, prominent Democrat blacks who belong to a party that enslaved their ancestors. They belong to a party that interned the Japanese Americans during World War II. They belong to a party that booted the Amerindians off their land. They belong to the party of Jim Crow, the KKK. The Republican Party was against those things. So if you're going to ascribe blame or honor to meme sets, let's put the blame for Democrat to the Democrats, which the Democrat meme set deserves. That's why I'm a former Democrat. I renounce my prior association with the Democrat Party. I will never vote Democrat again. I voted for Obama twice. I regret those votes. Why? Because Obama turned out to be an anti-American, anti-Western Enlightenment, traitor to the Western Enlightenment. Why do I say that? Because Obama said that the future must belong to those who don't slander the Prophet of Islam. That was an utterly traitorous statement with regard to the Western and American and British Enlightenment projects. What does he think? He's like an Islamic imam who gets to make fatwas and enforce blasphemy laws, advocate for blasphemy laws? No. And then later I learned of his association with Bill Ayers, leftist terrorist Bill Ayers, and his appreciation for anti-American, anti-Enlightenment Saul Alinsky. And the Democrats do de facto and in facto support the terrorist organizations called Antifa. The angry nihilistic youth who misdirect their anger toward people who could help them be less nihilistic. And let's be honest, the cultural right helps people be less nihilistic. The pro-life right, the pro-children right. And let's not fucking lie about what Trump has said. Trump says that he denounces so-called white supremacists. So if you're a power-hungry, power-grabbing, virtue signaling charlatan Democrat, you will seek to lie about what Trump has actually said. And what 99.9% of Trump supporters believe and think. Okay? Humans lie as a means of gaining power and resources. Democrats do this in spades. So call out the liars and promote life once again. All right, that's enough commentary for today.